Hi, I'm Brandon, and this time for this ranking tier list video, I've decided to rank the Rambo series from best to worst. I do love the Rambo movies, and I like all of them, even the ones I don't like so much. But the whole point of this video is to put them in order, so let's go. I usually start these with the worst one, which is hard. I'd probably have to go with Last Blood, the newest one, even though I do really like it. It's got a lot of cool stuff in there. It's it's different than the others, that it doesn't most of it doesn't take place in some far off foreign country. It takes place a lot of it in the United States, which is kind of cool, a little bit in Mexico. And you get to see him in some different locations. Like usually he's in the jungle or the desert. In this one, you see him like walking around a nightclub at some point and everything. It's just kind of, I guess it was interesting to see him just in a new, location. And let's see what's next. I think my favorite. It's kind of a guilty pleasure. I gotta say, Part Two is my favorite. I just love it. I heard even Stallone doesn't like that one that much. It's kind of interesting how like the first movie was just like a very well made, kind of more deep, thoughtful movie that had some themes to it. And then part two, it had some kind of themes, but it was mostly just mindless action. But it was so freaking cool that it's just like, I think it was kind of like the epitome. If you had to pick one movie to represent 80s action movies, like that would be it, at least for me. I just love the movie. It's just great. Now, I hate to do it because I really, really like the first movie, but I'm probably gonna have to put it down a bit more, like in fourth spot. It makes me feel kind of guilty, and I know a lot of people will probably be angry that I'm doing that because a lot of people would have it in the first spot. It is really good. Like I really, really like it. It is kind of, it's almost like the weird one of the bunch because it's a serious movie. It's kind of like the Rocky series that I did the ranking of before, where the first movie, like they almost didn't know that there was going to be others. So they made the first one to be a standalone, very good, well-made movie. And then once it became popular, they kind of switched it and it became more action movies. They were just doing it for excitement and to just thrill people, I guess. So the first Rambo, it's kind of missing the mindless 80s violence of the rest of them, which a lot of people might see as good, but I find the other ones are just more fun to watch. Like I'll throw on the first Rambo once in a while, but usually if I just feel like watching a Rambo, it's usually one of the others. Um I'll probably have to put Rambo 3 in second spot. It's kind of hard because they all I like them equally kind of, and they all have little things that I don't like so much. Like Rambo 3, it's almost like there's something wrong with the story. Like it has a different pacing. I think some people got to know what I mean. In that it starts off, there's like a bit of action, but then it takes a long time. There's a lot of stuff like Rambo playing that game with the horses when he's in Afghanistan, that sport that he's playing with the other rebels and stuff. Like it just seems to like slow it down, and then they break into the compound to save his mentor, but then they get like driven out and then they come back. Like it seems like they kind of messed up with the story, but it didn't matter so much because it's all the stuff that happened is cool. And that part at the end when him and Troutman are just surrounded by all those Russian troops, and then he's just like fuck them, and they just start like fighting back, just the two of them against like 300 enemies. That's what I watch Rambo for. It's just so awesome. I love that part. And I guess that leaves Rambo here. I'm gonna have to put Rambo, the first one, in the third spot. I really love the fourth Rambo movie, and that's kind of at the point where they were going through that phase, kind of around when Rocky Balboa came out, where it almost seemed like, oh, it was too like I don't know, like childish or too beneath them to have sequels that have numbers in them. So instead of calling it Rocky 6, they would just call it Rocky Balboa. And instead of calling it Rambo 4, they would call it Rambo. But whatever. It's a really cool movie. I just find I like it. The first half is not as good because it kind of revolves around that group of missionaries, and there's a lot of other stuff going on that isn't Rambo being Rambo. But once he becomes Rambo, it's like, especially that whole end scene where he's just on that machine gun in the back of that truck. It's like that is like one of the best action like war scenes ever. That is just so cool. I used to like watch the movie and then I would just like rewind it and watch that whole end part again. Like that end part almost makes up for the entire movie. It's still very well done. Anyways, let me know if you see your list being in a different way, a different order. And if there's any other series or anything you want me to rank, let me know. And thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time.